and hopefully I have consent from everyone to do that. So, thank you and formally welcome on board and welcome to this platform. Thank you for joining us this evening. We are here to talk about Adobe Digital Disha. You must have heard of this program. We've been to so many forums with this program. Along with Adobe, I think has been a part of our lives for quite some time. What's the first tool that comes to your mind when I say the word Adobe? Let's see, let's hear your thoughts in the chat window. I need your fingers going along with. Let's see where you go. So let me hear from you. Which Adobe tool comes to your mind first when I say the word Adobe? Let's see it in your chat window. Can I request you to please type in the chat window? I think ever since we started working as our IT teachers or ICT teachers, what we've heard of with Adobe is certainly the PDF. Well, there's much beyond PDF that is available now, and we're going to talk all about it. I hope you can still hear me because I did not see many messages in the chat window. If you can hear me, can you please give me a thumbs up?
Yeah, hello Meenakshi. We have typed a lot of messages. I'm not sure if why you're not able to see it. There are a lot of messages in the chat window.
All right. Okay. Thanks. Can you see the screen?
Yes, we can. I can at least. I think all of us can.
Okay, great. So I'll move on. You know me very well, but I must introduce myself. I'm Meenakshi Oberoi, and I am the founding director of thepedagogics. What I must bring to you today is why we are here. Well, we are here because thepedagogics is now a partner with Adobe. We are a learning partner, and we bring to you the culture of creativity that we've always wanted to create in classrooms. So here we are creating that culture of creativity, how to go about it, and what are the various steps involved in it. So I'm going to talk at length about what Adobe means, why are we here, why this program. And what I can see is, and which is very encouraging, is that there are many participants who are still joining. And as we keep talking, I hope we will see much more participation coming in here. So without further ado, I always like to start with a quote, and you know that. So here's one by Sir Ken Robinson. Creativity is as important now in education as literacy, and we should treat it with the same status. Absolutely right. We should and must. Well, the dynamics of digital skilling are changing globally. It's not only in India, but worldwide. The scenario in the fourth industrial revolution, the way we see it, is much different than what it used to be. We know that 9% of our students who are sitting in a class when they will land on the jobs would be deployed in a new job that do not even exist today. 37% of those students would be deployed in jobs which would radically have a changed skill set. The kind of skill sets that we can perceive, think of, or bring to our classrooms is very, very limited. But I know and you know that all the participants who've shown their enthusiasm to come for this webinar are certainly that open-minded that they've opened their hearts and minds to join this kind of a revolution where you could bring in some skill sets in varied forms which could prepare our students for a better tomorrow. With that thought, Adobe has designed a special program called the Adobe Digital Disha. Adobe Digital Disha focuses on Spark. Spark is a tool for creativity which promotes digital literacy and creativity skills in students. It actually helps foster all the core skills of creativity, communication, collaboration, and critical thinking. It's a wonderful tool And Digital Disha program is a program which is basically designed on the basis of a huge kind of a search study that was conducted about creative classrooms in the Asia Pacific region. The key highlights of those education institutes indicated that 75%, it indicated that the importance of developing blended programs for critical thinking and creative problem solving. It saw the need to create the collaborative platforms for students to work together, recognized the need to build engaging and interactive learning content, and believed in nurturing environment as a catalyst for success. That's exactly the thought, and that's exactly the whole idea behind it. What was also very encouraging to see was that the schools or the educational institutes have a vision that in the next 3 years they must focus on creating rich learning experiences that improve student learning outcomes, and that they are looking for preparing students with digital skills. So, contrary to much of what we've heard, that normally we do not have a mindset for change or mindset for bringing creativity into the classroom, I think these figures are very, very encouraging. Putting that into perspective, Disha was designed specifically for India, keeping in sync the Digital India and the Skill India mission. It aims to empower educators to provide digital experiences to students to become future ready. ADD program, as we very dearly call it, with its 4E, has undertaken the task to digitally revolutionize today's education needs by providing Adobe Spark, a tool to transform teaching and learning in response to the needs of the experience era. Tell me something. Have you heard of Adobe Spark? Well, if you have, give me a thumbs up there, or let me see how much do I need to talk about Adobe Digital Disha or Spark in particular. I'm going to take a pause, catch my breath, and I'm going to put myself on mute, peek into your chat window to see where we are. So let me know if you already know of Digital Disha, and number two, if you already know of Spark as a tool. Great. So I'm just going to give myself that chance to explain to you because I think Spark needs its own space. Spark needs some bit of explanation and Spark needs a bit of insight. I've been exploring Spark for quite some time now, and I've been able to understand that it's a beautiful product. It's a beautiful tool for us to use in the classroom, especially to bring in creativity. I think it's one of those tools which just helps you become today. Today, if you look at the social media, you will realize that the kind of graphics that come uh, are mostly the forwards or whatever people have created, and you like the one the best, you would like to wish people with that. But here's something that can help you personalize. If you like something, you may take it forward and you may personalize it. How to do that and how to take this forward, I'm just going to describe that to you, and I'm going to talk much about that. Give me a minute, please. I think one of our team members is still online with other teachers in the Skype to get on board them. If not, can I thank you? Um, okay, so Adobe Spark. Adobe Spark is an online tool which is basically used for storytelling or kind of graphic infographics making or making videos. So it gives you the power to make three kinds of products, which are video, a Spark page, or a Spark post. Spark Video, a video storytelling application. We've always thought of making stuff where we could bring in some bit of our our originality to that video. So I'll share the links in our chat window very soon. I'm sure one of our team members will do that. When I make my own product, there's a different flavor to it. It's so me that I can actually pick up a product, like let's say there's a video. I just recently made this video called Girls in STEM, and I'm going to share the link in the chat box so that you can view it. It's a very simple story. For me, it was a very simple way to tell story that we created an all-girls event at Uttam School for Girls, Ghaziabad, and I wanted to tell the world about it. So if you go to our thepedagogics Facebook page, you will be able to find that video. Just see how we've blended in the standard video which comes from for us from Microsoft to something that is so us, so what we are doing. So it's just another way, and it has become an integral part of our routines to make such videos to post. Similarly, the kind of page that you can design with it is much similar. To bring in perspective, I would say it is much similar to what Sway does, but this gives you many more powers, and it's much different because this interface, one certainly, just like Sway, you can create a web page just in about minutes. But you can explore best of the layouts, colors, and fonts in it. You can choose a pre-decided format to work on, or you could make your own unique, page. You could pick up a book report that someone has already made, and you could put a unique twist of your own to it. That's the way we would want to give assignments to our students. Let's say I give them an exemplar that, this is what I expect from you, the kind of report that I'm expecting. And then they work to give their own original inputs out there and make an original page. So that's a wonderful thing that we can do with Spark Page. Spark Post, well, I just created 1 second. If you've checked out our post on Facebook, and of course in Skype, I just posted see you soon out there, and I created that in a few seconds because I needed some time to come and join you and I didn't want you waiting. So it's such a simple thing to do that you can actually do these things within minutes or seconds. Putting things to perspective, Adobe Spark is a website and app built to encourage creativity and impactful creative communication. Adobe Spark was built with younger users in mind, and students from preschool to college are finding Spark to be an easy and fun way to share, create, publish, and share. Adobe Spark actually empowers anyone to turn ideas into social graphics. Well, I think any child given a chance would love to create a social graphic, even if it is something like a biography. Let's say we had Republic Day. How has the face of Republic Day changed over years? Well, that's a simple web story that can be created within minutes. Animated videos. Who wants to give those standard Hello Republic Day wishes? Who would not want to create their own animated videos? Well, this is super simple. No big cameras, no big stuff required, just your device, and you could be doing all of that. Here's an idea. Let's say you want to capture an idea. The challenge that I give to my students is I need to tell a story about, let's say, something, and that's got to be a noun, so that I can dash. So there's an action. So here's an open-ended idea for my students, and I tell them that 3 questions to keep your big idea in check are: does your big idea capture the problem that you're trying to solve? Because with such a creative tool, children can, and I'm sure will, get swayed by the way, they can create, the way they can make it colorful, fancy, fonts, colors, but they must not lose the focus of problem solving or problem projection for that matter. Is it compelling? Or you've just compiled somebody's work and just given it to me, and is it clear and concise? Not in those graphics and in those should my whole idea get lost. So it's such a simple way that I can actually put forward in front of my students to create a whole idea or to convey their whole idea. Yet another very formal way of doing is, I give them slide layouts. I tell them put 1 thing here, 2 things here, full screen photo, and then you prepare your speech. So this is the planning layout for Spark. You can make it as casual as you want it to be and as formal as you would like it to be. Don't worry, I know many of you must think that I'm skipping slides too quickly. This PowerPoint or this whole presentation is for you. I am going to share this with you along with the recording so you may view it and use it at your convenience. So let's deep dive into Spark. What is it that you can do? Let's say you've picked up a project and you want to get started. You have 3 options. You can either create a stunning graphic, which will be a Spark post, or create a beautiful web story, which will be in the form of a Spark page, or create an eye-catching video, which would be a Spark video. Storytelling can actually move us. It can help us remember, increase empathy, and encourage cooperation. I am a firm believer of storytelling. And if you've known me and if you know my social media posts, you know what kind of a storyteller I am. Why, yes, I love telling stories. So here are some of the examples. I'm going to actually share my screen now to show you how creative thinking can be brought into classroom. But I'm going to pause here and check with Jyoti or any of my team member who's still here to see if there are any questions that I can answer or anything that we need to look into.
There are no questions, Meenakshi, but you've not changed the screen, right? It's still the first slide.
Oh no, I've been changing slides all throughout.
I don't know. I'm not able to see the change slide. Let me
Okay,
check with others if they are.
okay. I'm going to
Yes, they
share.
are also saying no. They are saying the slides are not moving. Nobody's able to see. It's
Oh
just
my
we are on the
God.
first slide.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm sharing my screen. Let me know if you can actually see it. If you can see it, then you let me know, Jyoti. If you can't, then I'm going to change the mode.
Okay, it's still loading.
Can you see my screen?
Hey, it's loading. It's still loading, Meenakshi.
Okay, I think I'll give it a pause. I think I can see it now. Can you see it?
Yeah, others can see it, so I'm sure it's working. Not me, but I can see the
Awesome.
chat window. People are saying they can see it. So go ahead, please.
Awesome. So this is what Spark is. It's a simple. This is my dashboard actually. Spark when you introduce to Spark doesn't look like this. I'm going to open the first page also for you. But this is like my dashboard. This is all what I've created. I have spoken about this, but let me just show you the Girls in STEM project that I had created. Link to that will be posted in your chat window. Um, and I'm just going to request someone to do that. So they're going to post all these links so that you can view it at your end. I'm just going to see if this plays. So that's how Spark opens up each time you have your projects, just the way you have all your projects parked on the Sway main page of the Sway. Similarly, even for Spark, all your projects are parked on your dashboard as you log into spark.adobe.com. So to access Spark, all you have to do is spark.adobe.com. You have to go there and log in using your Adobe ID. We will be coming to what Adobe ID is, and I am going to deep dive into showing that to you too. But let me just show you something here. Okay, so I don't think you can hear it, but if you see, this is a Microsoft video. I had added some slides before this, and as this will get over, you will see my own work coming in, which means pictures or images or text, which we have introduced later. Now till here, this is a standard Microsoft video, and now this will actually move on to simple slides, which will have our poster. This was what was created, actual pictures. So it's a very simple story. When we were to tell this story on the web, this is how we create it. And it's a very simple thing. If you can see, there's a plus sign. I can add more slides. So you just add these slides here and you can make your own video. It's as simple as that. And of course, you can share it. You saw the share button. You can share this anywhere that you want. I would want to also showcase to you one of the projects which is very close to my heart, because what I really like is when teachers can see if they can take it straight away to their classrooms and how. Here's a very rough and a jiffy created Spark. This is actually when you have to present, of course, you must say present, which I always forget, but I should. So here it is. This is a Spark about comparing the plant and the animal cell. As you go, as you slide down, you will see that we have actually created this Spark And this has been created just in a jiffy as a demo. So this was literally done within a few minutes. This is a Spark page created within a minute, which is actually giving you an idea. But what I want to bring to your notice is it can actually hold all types of formats, whether it is an image or you want to compare the two cells. Now this is only a plant cell, this is only an animal cell, this is an image of comparison. If you see, you can actually look at a picture and text together, and then you can embed a video. Apart from that, we also have a quiz. So once the students have viewed this, they are going to answer this quiz. There you go. So there are multiple things that you can do with Spark. You can create a graphic, just the way I said. Within minutes, I had created this graphic for you as we were, waiting for you to join in. We just thought we'll do a see you soon on the Facebook page as a reminder to you. So when I do that, if you see on the right hand side, there are formats or the variations that start popping up all by itself. I could have picked up any of these to create the graphic that I did, and I could have actually personalized this. Tell you what, I did not create this from the scratch. I actually picked one of the graphics because I've used it already. I can't see it in this list, but that's exactly what I did. And let's say I choose this, it's only going to change the graphics, it's only going to change the layout, and I can actually recreate within seconds right now in front of you another image with yet another. There you go. I certainly wouldn't want it like that. Therefore, I'm just going to undo it so that my last variant remains. So it's as simple as that, and you can share it anywhere that you want. You can download it as JPEG or PDF the way you want it. You can mail it to somebody. You have a link. You have Twitter, Facebook, any which way you want it. The best part is that because you all are mostly part of Microsoft family, all you have to do is you have to use your Office 365 ID to sign in into these accounts, and you can access Adobe right from Teams also. So that's a beautiful integration. There is no clash anywhere. Both Microsoft and Adobe are compatible with each other, and they work like partners. What I'm going to do is I certainly want to show you what I had in store for you. So I'm very quickly going to jump onto one of the slides so that you know where we are and what I'm talking about. All that I've been talking about, again, like I said, I will be sharing with you post this session, and I apologize that the slides weren't moving. I did not realize that the slides weren't moving. I will try and move really fast for you so that you can just have a glimpse of what we've been talking. So here's the image that I've been talking about. Pick a film, capture the big idea. So this is the kind of format. The next format, or the formal format that I was talking about, was this. And I'm very happy and thankful to Jyoti that she's been able to tell me that you can see this, and I've been able to bring this to you. So you pick your own project. And of course, like I talked about storytelling, it can move us, increase empathy, encourage cooperation, help us remember. I think what here is that we must know how to bring it to our classrooms. Here's another Spark which I want to show you. This is a beautiful Spark created about how you can bring in creativity, and there are beautiful examples out there in the Spark which will showcase to you how this can be used in the classroom. This is the plant in the plant cell and animal cell in the girls in STEM Spark that I was just sharing with you, and my team members are just going to share the links in the chat window. Okay, so here we are looking at creativity in the classroom. The Spark that has already been made, not made by me. Disclaimer: this is a pre-made, Adobe Spark, and I just want to share it with you because I just loved it when I saw it. I love the way it showcases the variety in which creativity can actually be brought into the classrooms. So here we are, analytical thinking. So, for a project like a World War I project, it's hard for students to basically understand and then, make it fun. But here's a fun element in it. You do a Spark video where you record your voices telling me, using those pictures from either your books or, images from that era to tell me what happened where. And this is basically not only talking to yourself, because you would be talking in a camera or a device. Students can actually create a video and make this World War I story really interesting. So this will not only help you see what they are learning, how they are learning, and what's going on in their minds, but this will also bring the quietest of the voices out in open. In abstract thinking, we could look at something like language arts, where we are creating a diagram to compare three characters. It's not always that you have to create a character using a character sketch or write-ups. You could just give them a mix-up of Photoshop. Show me a few things that can depict this kind of a behavior. So there are many things that you can do using these kind of tools. Communication and collaboration for us is on top. We have many days, just like they had a Martin Luther King Day. We have a Republic Day. We have Gandhi Jayanti. We have so many of our days where we could actually be taking up projects like these. I am not going to read through all of these, but I'm just going to leave it for you to see these. So we are going to post link to this site also onto your chat window. You may take it away and see it at your convenience, but certainly this is certainly appreciable, so I'm going to appreciate it for you. So this is something you must not miss. This is my personal advice that you must visit these just to see how all can it be used. You can craft your story actually just like anything. You can make it personal. Personal stories actually resonate very well with human beings. And many of us have shared our personal stories to inspire each other. We do that quite often. So get emotional. A lot of people will tell you otherwise, but don't listen to them. Sometimes you just have to be too vulnerable because you want to hear it from others, how they did it. How did they bring creativity into their classrooms? Or how do you feel about a certain, thought that's in the air? So you could be actually sharing your emotions or your thoughts through these kind of platforms. Spark can also be used for anecdotes and reflection, which I feel that if you put it in your room, this will actually bring you moments which might go uncaptured otherwise. Sorry. Choosing an image, children love visuals. You create presentations all the time for making your classroom interesting. How about telling your children to make your classroom interesting by making visuals for you or to showcase what they think or what's on their mind? You could even include a call for action in this, and of course, stay inspired and inspire others. That's most important. Here are some more ways in which you can bring it into your classroom. So these are the educational uses of infographics, because I know infographics are the need of the hour. We all recognize it, but sometimes we are still thinking whether I should bring it to my class. Will it take time? Will it be too complex? Am I deviating from focus from what I'm supposed to let students learn? Well, not really. You could actually be modeling critical thinking or visual literacy skills. You could be activating prior knowledge, bringing these units into your classroom, or setting up a framework for future learning. You could be sharing some data with your parents and colleagues in a very interesting manner. Rather than giving just the mundane figures, you could actually be creating a Spark page to do that. So creating timelines is something that I found very interesting, and I would love to do this project with one of our classrooms because I know history books are the most unexplored books, and just before the examination, students just need a quick rec now. Well, this kind of a timeline could actually really help students there. Analyzing information to develop critical thinking and visual literacy skills, illustrating related concepts in a curriculum topic. That is something that we don't find time to do. And here, seamlessly, you will see literacy blending in with history or any of the projects that you're working on. Autobiographies, biographies, student portfolios, very important. We look for various avenues where we can actually have our student portfolios. Just the way you saw my dashboard page, your students could have their own dashboard page, and you could be showcasing that as a student portfolio for anything. Let's say your PTM, or you're showcasing your work on any of the platforms, say Twitter, Facebook, any social media, or even your annual put-ups. Your classroom newsletters can go using Spark, and so can the photo essays. Well, we always post pictures, but we don't put the story behind the picture along with. Try that on a web page, and it'll really, really take it to the next level. We've been doing Spark sessions or Adobe sessions at various forums, and here are some thoughts that we collected from there as to how people will use Spark in their classroom. What was most interesting was they could even relate it to the ATL projects and creating prototypes of projects out there, or liquefying feature of identification or introduction of a profile study. That is, you've just opened up after so many days and you just want to bring in a Spark in your classroom. Well, that's another way of bringing Spark in your classroom. So, by the way, I would want to pause here to say that if you're looking for an Adobe session in your classroom, you just need to knock our door and we'll be happy to come in and do a session for you, your teachers, your stakeholders, whichever way you want to. Because our whole idea is to bring in creativity into your classrooms. For anything that we can do, we certainly will. I'm again going to take a pause here and I'm going to ask you this question. What will you craft? Please share your ideas in the chat window about where will you use Spark in your classroom. I'm also going to take this opportunity to request Jyoti to please let me know if there's anything that needs our attention.
There are two questions. Is there any way to integrate the usage of Spark with Seesaw? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Meenakshi?
Yeah, Jyoti, I heard you. I just was waiting for.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah. So, great. So your question is if we can blend it. Well, I will have to check on that and come back. I don't know at this moment whether we can or not, because I know of a few collaborations and I have brought those collaborations for you to share with you. But for this particular one, I don't know, but I assure you that I will come back. Jyoti, if you can note down the name of the participant who was actually posed this question.
Yeah, and also I think Monica has already posted a link here showing how we can integrate Spark with Seesaw.
See, I always have friends in the room. So, yeah, thank you so much, Monica. You've always been great help. So, yeah, thank you. We can. So, your answer is we can. So, any other question there?
And what are the plus points of Spark over Sway?
Okay, so Sway and Spark are two very different tools. Sway is much, I would say, it has a very intuitive sort of a platform built within, and it's a tool which is integrated within your Office 365. So it's a part of your Office 365 tool, and also the kind of access that you can give is up to you in Sway. In Spark, this is more of a platform for you to create and share, but the kind of variety that you can create in terms of the kind of infographics or the kind of videos or the kind of personalizations that you can do, that kind of a bandwidth is very different from Sway. These are two very different presentation tools, and for me, they will have a very different purpose. If I have, if my students have to create something in my classroom and I want it within my Office 365 platform, I would put it on Sway. If I'm using Spark, Spark would be more, I would say, usage would be towards grade 4 onwards, and the senior students really are in love with it for the kind of nature that it gives or the kind of capabilities that it gives you, because you can play around a lot with infographics, you can play a lot with color, font, size, layouts, you can play with creating a web page, video, and Sway. You could create a Spark and embed it in Sway. I think I just said Sway, so I'm sorry there. So you can do loads in Spark and then embed a link to this of the Spark in your Sway. That's the way I would create my presentation. Does that make sense? Well, to me, it makes a lot of sense because I love blending tools. I love taking one tool and putting it with another. But having said that, I think each tool will have its own nature and its own usage. Depending on the nature of your task, you must decide the usage. Anything more interesting, Jyoti, out there?
No, there's like Monica only is giving us ideas on what we can do. We can create portfolios, quick and whites, development lesson plans for class e-cards. So she has lots of ideas. Great, Monica. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
yeah. Thanks, Monica. You've always been a great motivator. Taking you ahead now, I would want to. Can you see the ship? Yes, you can. Okay, so I would also want to introduce something over here that is Educator Network. So it is our Adobe Educator Network now. This is the Educator Exchange, as we call it. This is my to-go place to learn everything. It's as simple as edx.adobe.com, and because it's at edX, it's a much different platform than your MEC. Both the platforms are highly enriching. This platform also is an excellent platform for you to go, for you to learn, for you to look for resources, for you to discover so many new things that you can do and bring into your classroom. For any kind of, anything to do with creativity, Adobe is your best friend. edx.adobe.com is the website. When you log in, you can log in, create an Adobe ID first if you don't have one. Creating an Adobe ID is absolutely simple. You can use your Office 365 account, and I highly recommend this because if you are an existing Office 365 school institute, then I would recommend that because then your Adobe tools are accessible using that ID itself, and you can track them. You can assign into your classroom. That becomes much simpler. So for that very reason, I insist that if you have Office 365, then please use that account itself to create your Adobe ID. Else you can use any of your Microsoft account, whether it's Hotmail or Outlook, to do so. But those will be then personal IDs, and you'll not be able to track that. Do use your Office 365 ID if you have. As you land on the first page, you'll see we are signed in out there, and you can begin learning. Well, before we do that, you know what we insist on. Well, complete your profile first. Uh, Even on the Adobe Educator Exchange, we have the beautiful system of badges and points, and I love the smile it brings to everyone's face. And I can actually hear a silent yay. So yes, there's a big yay factor here. You do have your badges, you do have certificates. As you do your courses or you do your workshops online or in person, you earn these badges and certificates. So please complete your profile. As you complete your profile, you get your first badge. Um, you know, if you know me better, you know that I am a big time promoter of being a contributor rather than only being a consumer. So the first thing that was on my mind when I started my journey was I have to make something and I have to put on this beautiful website because there's so much here. There has to be something that I must contribute. Well, I've done that already. If you can see the resources portion, it says one. I've contributed one. Actually, I've contributed more than one. They're under approval. They will be shown here. I've already completed 5 workshops and I have 714 points. Well, the points, Adobe actually allots very few points as you go along. So don't judge me by my points. But yeah, I've just started my journey. So I invite you to please begin your journey. And on top of the pedagogics, you can see that we are a contributor, which gives me a yay point. Moving forward, there are courses to learn and to deploy this entire platform in your classrooms. You don't need to go anywhere. You can simply learn here. Just the way, creating creative images for educators. There are education-focused courses here which you can do. You can enroll. They are dated. You can only join these courses on a date when they're available. So please look for courses. Something like Adobe Apps for Education is available, which is like a presentation. You can go ahead and look at it. There is curriculum wherein Adobe Design basics are already given. So those of you who teach design can certainly look at this kind of a resource, which is actually very helpful. I've already accessed these, and I completely agree with because these are all global platforms. This is not a platform built only for a particular nation. This is a global platform. Well, as for the partnerships, here's something to bring the smile to on your face. We have a partnership with Flipgrid. So you could actually be making an interactive digital story with Flipgrid along with Spark. So try that and share that using the hashtag FlipVenture. So it's a beautiful hashtag and I loved it. And you must try and use this if you haven't done that already. I hope I've answered all your questions correctly. And what you will see here is this is a program where you will not only learn how to use tools, you can actually meet the tutors online, sometimes in person too, connect with the community, apply your learning, that's most important, and get hands-on. Well, uh, together we can create, and at Adobe, we believe that creativity is the catalyst for positive change. We have driven to inspire creativity in people who want to make a meaningful impact on education, on our environment, our communities, and the world at large. I'm going to introduce you to somebody who is the program holder of this entire uh, digital Disha. Garima Babbar is the program head education and skill development. She works with Adobe Systems India, and you can connect with her directly too. I'm not too sure if she's in the room. Jyoti, if you can take a quick, let me also take a quick scroll if Garima is here and would like to say hello. No, I don't see Garima in the room. Um, Devpreet is also not around. Possibly they've not been able to join, but they were both there in the
She was
chat.
at some point. I saw Garima at some point. She had joined, but
Yeah,
now I can't see her.
no worries. The most important thing about, I thought Garima should disclose this to you. Anywho, let me disclose this to you. Um, Adobe Digital Disha program is free of cost. We do not charge anything for giving you access. This is a full bundle of Spark that you get access to. All you have to do is write to us and write to us at thepedagogics@outlook.com and share your intent of deploying Adobe Digital Disha in your school, and we will be happy to bring in this program to you. This will give access to not only all of your educators, but also your students. All we will need is access from your end to say that, yeah, you need this access. We will be able to create this access for you. So yeah, we had saved the best for the last. And now that I've shared that with you, I am more than happy to take any questions that you have. But before that, thank you so very much for your time. Thank you for joining us. And we look forward to much of creative times ahead, uh, making this a more creative world, and creating a culture of creativity in your classroom is our zest. Help us bring this culture to your school, and just write to us at thepedagogics@outlook.com. I'm going to hold the session here. I'm going to hold on to see, Jyoti, if we have any further questions, because the moment we say this, I'm sure there are questions that
So
will.
what Sonia has to say is that is Disha program only for 6 to 8? Can you hear me?
Yes, Jyoti, I'm here. Sorry. Yeah. So, no, this program is open to all students of any grade. We will not limit the grade in which you would want to, take this program forward in your school. It's up to you. Any other questions I'm happy to take?
There are no more questions.
Okay, great. So we are here, and in case you need to leave, we completely understand that you need to leave the call. And we are very, very much here to take your questions, to understand if you have any queries, further queries. But we do expect, and we will be sharing this recording with you. Stay rest assured, it will very shortly come to you, provided it has, there were no technical glitches, which we have faced majorly today. And I completely apologize for that, our mistake, but we will try and iron it out for next time. If you have anything, we are still around. If you have any questions, any queries, we are still around. Otherwise, stay creative, keep it on top of your mind.
What if they're not able to, some Ruchi is saying they're not able to sign in with their O365 ID.
We're more than happy to help them. I can take them one-on-one and I can help them do that.
Sure.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop recording so that we know. I don't see any more questions. So thank you so very much once again. Thank you for joining in. You've been very patient with us. We thank you once again. And Ruchi, I will come back to you with this. Thank you. Thank you, Jyoti, for all your help. You've been great. Thanks so much.
No worries, most welcome.